birthday, mate. Cricket present.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. 26 years old, and then never felt younger. So I'll never be as young going forward. But yeah, pretty excited, obviously, about the contract extension. And as soon as the club and my manager started to work through some options, it didn't take too long to convince both parties that to get the deal done, which is very pleasing. And yeah, very happy to extend my stay until the end of 2016 at the very least.
And when did you sign your previous extension before this? Was it while you were out injured?
Yeah, it was. I've never been out of contract I've never kind of gone into a season out of contract. So this season was probably as close as I've waited, or as long as I've waited to renegotiate and have a look at things going forward. So I was pretty keen, as well as obviously the club were pretty keen to get it all sorted. And all I'm really concerned about now is the 2014 pre-season and preparing for that season. But to have the security of the extra 2 years is really nice.
I know David Mundy had thoughts at some point of going back to the east. I mean, you're obviously a Victorian lad. But do you see yourself now being one club player?
Yeah, I can definitely see how players across the competition have those temptations, and you see a lot of it. We saw a lot probably from Brisbane this year. It's probably the example where some young players headed home. But from my point of view, and I think the club's point of view here, especially within the last 4 or 5 years, we've built a really strong culture and a real, I suppose, group of men, from the players to the coaching staff, that really want to be involved with each other and play together and train together and achieve something special together. So, you know, Fremantle have given me personally the opportunity back in 2010 after being overlooked time and time again. So from my point of view, I just want to repay the faith. And yeah, you mentioned guys like David a few years ago. There was probably the temptation, family and friends and whatnot, but you'd like to think you make a strong connection with the footy club you're at, and in the West that's no different with the Fremantle Footy Club. Made a strong connection with a lot of the boys and a lot of the coaching staff, as well as people outside of the club, so it's a great place to live and work.
David's a free agent at the end of this year, or the end of next year. Have you had to work with him?
Oh, not so much about that kind of stuff. That's how he'll approach that with his management and the footy club. Obviously, the footy club are really keen to keep him around, and I think David is more than happy to stay around. But the beauty of free agency for the players is they can use their power, and Dave's been in the system a long time, and is a very highly regarded player within the club, within the state, and I think starting to get some real recognition outside. So I don't think he'll be going anywhere with the places we're hoping this club's heading towards. So exciting times ahead, and David's a big part of that.
You spoke about that sort of sticking together and achieving something as a group. Is that an unspoken thing, or is that something you talk about with other players?
Well, I suppose over the last 2 years, we probably rate ourselves on what we've achieved in the last 2 years under Ross and where the group's at. So we 2012 got going in the second half of the year and had a more consistent year. 2013 this year, obviously resulting in a grand final. But we can't control what's happened in the past, and we're only really concerned and really focusing on what we can do in the short-term future, and that's preparing as well as we can for 2014. As I mentioned, me personally stoked to sign on until the end of 2016 and have that security, but I'm not thinking anywhere further forward than preparing myself for the 2014 season and giving ourselves another crack at the cherry. And we're in no different situation now to 18 other teams in the competition. We're probably 17 teams in the competition chasing the yardstick, which is Hawthorn, the reigning premier.
Was 2013 your best season?
I think it was my most consistent, yes. I played 2 half years, my first 2 years, and then a full year, but still just starting to find my feet and find some form with the new coach and the new system coming in as well. But 2013, I think, along with a lot of the other players, we had really consistent years, and that's what I really want to base myself on, and I suppose be looked upon across the competition as a consistent player, and you know, an anywhere player. I like playing interstate. I like playing at home, and that's really, I think, resonating across the group. We put the white shorts on or jump on the Virgin flight, and it's business as usual. And there's no excuses within the football club.
What are the things you're specifically working on your game to improve over this pre-season?
Yeah, I feel in as physically as good a condition for this time of year as I ever have. Uninterrupted pre-season, off-season, leading into a pre-season, which is pleasing, and for me, it's just my ability to probably explode and be a bit quicker and a bit sharper out of contests, and yeah, a little bit. I'm never going to be the most explosive player. I'm never going to be a Patrick Dangerfield or a Chris Judd in with their explosion, but just it's probably a deficiency in my game, which I'm really going to work on over the summer and leading into the season, as well as every aspect of the game, from my foot skills, and which are getting better and better, but always scope for improvement, and we have great access to resources with Brett Kirk, Mark Stone as my immediate kind of coaches, and my immediate carers when we're training and reviewing and trying to get better.
And the bid's going to have to become more multi-positional, given the change in the cap. You guys are a higher than average rotating team. Is that something?
I think we shifted a bit that way last year. I mean, Dave Mundy and Fifey probably played a little bit more on the wing, and Dave halfback and Fifey forward a little bit, as well as bringing in guys that have been around for 2 or 3 years, like Cam Sutcliffe, a long runner on the wings and can play halfback, and Tom Sheridan similar, and Lachie Neale inside, as well as the half forward kind of role. So I think we had a real shift in that in 2013, players being able to play different roles and adjusting to circumstances within games that you might not forecast beforehand. So I think we're in a good position for the cap, but you know, we'll train it, and we've got the sports science guys all on deck, knowing exactly kind of what's required and what kind of conditioning we'll require over the summer to best prepare for 2014.
There's no, I guess, training required, just the new changes in rules with regards to head-eye contact and try and draw free kicks. That's just, I guess, something in the back of the mind, as opposed to something you physically work on the track.
Yeah, for this time of year, for us, we've been really well monitored. I suppose we're on a bit of a ramp into our pre-season, whereas we'll probably hit more match style stuff and more competitive training into January, late January, and leading into the NAB Cup. Whereas at the moment it's more getting the legs back on, getting the skills fine-tuned, and just getting used to the football aspect of things again, and we'll bleed a little bit of contact and a little bit of match style training into it as we probably get back after Christmas and ramp up into the NAB.
Are you guys coming back? I mean, you've been slowly improving in terms of your pre-season in the last couple of years. Have you now reached the right level for coming back, or are you sort of trying to get fitter and fitter every pre-season?
Oh, yeah, it's hard. You're always going to see 4 or 5 guys probably jump up a couple of rungs over their off seasons and make a statement. But I think the maturity of the group now, a lot's been made of how we're probably a group that's been together for 4 or 5 years, the core nucleus of it, and you're probably not going to see massive amounts of improvement from the guys that are probably starting to get towards the latter 20s and like Pav and Luke McFarlane. They come back spitting images year on year. With probably minor improvements, especially over the last few years. But I think the real growth and improvement has to come from the younger players and the blokes that are probably, you know, the 23rd, 24th, 25th picked in the grand final side last year, or the 21st and 22nd. Those guys that really contribute to the success of a team, the depth and, you know, pressure for spots. So we see a lot of improvement in the guys that are probably 2nd, 3rd, 4th years coming back to start of pre-seasons. But in regard to the nucleus of the group, especially under Ross, we understand what's required over the off-season and what we need to come back and hit, and I think we're doing that well.
Any guys you want to single out who came back from a good nick?
No, not really. I think it'd be unfair to too many. I think we've had issues over the past where you've probably seen blokes at the wrong end of it, and I think it's really pleasing that we haven't got anyone at the wrong end of those kind of discussions at this time of year. But again, just those third, fourth year players, which I won't single anyone out, but like the guys like Lachie Neale was a sub in the grand final last year. Thomas Sheridan, first emergency. They're the guys where real improvement comes from, and this is the time of year they really stand up and try and I suppose put their name up in lights in front of the coaches, and that's not something that can be done over 4 or 5 weeks. It has to be a 12-month, then a 24-month, and a continual thing to make a successful career. Brilliant, thank you guys.